Hey guys, so as you know, everything that happens in contemporary Jewish history, or in general, throughout the timeline, the spiral of Jewish history, happens on particular dates. For example, if you look at the 9th of Av in Jewish history, it not only points to the destruction of the temples, right? It points to all kinds of horrible calamities that happened to the Jewish people. Everything from the expulsion of the Jews from Spain, different massacres, the planning of the Holocaust, the start of putting people on trains to Auschwitz, and all the rest of it, and also all the way down to something more recent like removing Jews out of their homes in Gaza, in Gush Katif. On the positive side, guys, we have the story of Purim. And the story of Purim, as you guys know, Haman met his end in Adar, in the month of Adar, right? Which usually falls out around March, sometimes February, depending on how the calendar falls out. And but what's not widely kind of known, even though it's mentioned, is that, even despite the fact that Haman was hanged, there was still an official decree that was, so to speak, standing or pending across the entire kingdom for the Jews to be destroyed. And so, a couple of months later, actually 3 months later, in the month of Sivan, on the 23rd day in the month of Sivan, Mordechai actually sent out, so to speak, the message that the Jews could defend themselves against any attempts to eradicate them anywhere in the empire. It's interesting, guys, if you look at just Jewish history and how everything plays out, Jews, for the most part, we live in the exile, and we are largely defenseless, right? Yeah, you had, even in maybe 100 years ago, 80 years ago, you had, the ghetto uprising, the Warsaw ghetto uprisings, you had Jewish partisans, but largely we lived in the exile, in diaspora communities, and we did not really have any means of defending ourselves until we got our own state. Again, not that I'm a fan of the Israeli government, not that I'm a fan of a lot of the things that they do and a lot of the things that have been embedded in the state. But what I am, so to speak, a fan of is the fact that now we have an army, and that army can, when allowed, when they are not shackled, when they are not told to stand down, when they're not, whatever, I won't get into it, right? When they're actually instructed and allowed to do what they professionally know how to do, they are incredible. And we have this for the first time since probably the Commonwealth, the Jewish Commonwealth, back when we had kings, right? Since like the Bar Kokhba revolt. And it's a very powerful army in and of itself, even without, so to speak, American help. So, my friends, Jews, we are such a nation that we need an official decree, an official announcement we need to be reminded to defend ourselves. We need to be told, hey, you're allowed to defend yourselves, and we need a haskama, what's called a stamp of approval to defend yourself. So, back then, it was Mordechai. Today, guys, unfortunately, it's an American president. But, as you guys can see, we have now an American president who's just saying, listen, do what you gotta do. And to the point where we don't even need to ask him. We just have to do what we have to do. Because it's gotten to a point where, the knife is on our neck, or was about to be on our neck. Enrichment is about to reach 60% or more, right? And we decided, hey, we're going to defend ourselves. And my friends, guess what? Tonight, today, as I speak to you, is the 22nd of Sivan. Tonight is the 23rd of Sivan. And now that we have finally taken the modern day Haman and his cronies to task, and yeah, it started with the attack on October 7th by this Amalek, by these modern day Haman's army. We have now retaliated against Haman, and we are now about to finish him off. And lo and behold, guys, it started in the middle of the month of Sivan, and now we're coming up on the 23rd of Sivan, and we're basically weighing, who's gonna bomb this nuclear site. Is it gonna be us? Is it gonna be America themselves? Is it gonna be America giving us, the ability to do it? How is this all gonna go down, and when is it gonna go down? But guys, tonight, literally tonight, probably even now, because when the sun, when the three stars come out, when the sun sets in Israel, which is basically now, guys, it's game time. And the 23rd of Sivan is in effect, and Mordechai's decree is in effect. Okay, my friends, the words of Rabbi Kessin, let's see what happens.